Hey guys, so this is a quick and dirty video. I literally just exited my Zoom meeting with my class, and today was flippin' intense with some of the stuff that we were going through. We were talking about trauma, and I wasn't prepared for some of the stuff that came up in my own personal life, like reading through some of the things and just talking about some of the stuff, and um, it brought light to stuff that I had buried, and I had to take a moment during one of our breaks to just ground center and come back to myself and realize that that was in the past and that I have moved on from those things that have happened to me. And just talking to my classmates about different things that had happened, uh, the brainstorming, the amount of just like shared experiences that most of us had. We did this thing called an ACE test. And you can look it up. It's called the ACEs test on you can do like a Google search or something like that, and it asks questions like about um just it it asks all these different questions, and based on the number you put like a 1 or a 0, and there's the short form of it is 10 questions, and then at the end of everything you add it up, and you look at what your number is, and then there's like a grading scale that tells you what has happened and like what you can kind of expect having that kind of a number or whatever. And we also talked about how trauma, no matter where it is in your life, if it was childhood trauma or current trauma, how that can sometimes translate into actual physical illnesses, such as obesity or um, having certain mental health disorders or whatever else. So that was really eye opening for me. And that's what really kind of picked that scab and like revealed some of that stuff that I had forgotten about, was just thinking about some of these traumas that had happened to me or that I had experienced in my life, and also realizing that what is traumatic to me may not be traumatic to somebody else. And my whole life, I've always gone based on what I feel is traumatic or what I feel, not versus or not looking at what other people feel. And that is going to be extremely difficult for me to work with. I already know, because I know myself, that I take my own personal experiences and expect other people who have had the same type of experiences to feel the same way that I do about certain things. So that's going to be really freaking difficult. Um, but it's something that I'm willing to work with. One of the other things that we had talked about is cultural, historical, and gender differences and issues, and how we would go about working with people in that regard. Um, One of the people in my class is with somebody who is Muslim, and they were talking about the difficulties that arised in their relationship because they were not raised Muslim, but their partner was. And um, some of the cultural differences and some of the like mute points that they have. So that was really um that was kind of an eye opener, and I shared with the class that, even though we may not have the same type of um ideology or whatever, that we need to remove our ego and listen to our our peer and figure out a common ground and have like a lean in moment where you just kind of lean in and like, oh, so tell me more about that. Tell me more about what that's like or whatever, and leading with open-ended questions that um, creates a transparency and creates a safe space where the peer feels like they want to open up to you and being genuinely authentic and just being there holding space. And up until recently, that term holding space never really resonated with me, and I never had heard it before, but I've been hearing it quite a bit now. And that's something that I think we all can work on, is just holding space. And by holding space, it means being present when you're being spoken to. 9 times out of 10, we have our friends and family and they're talking to us and we're over here like this. Now, I am incredibly notable for fidgeting or doing other things, but I'm an audio visual learner. So, me focusing on doing something with my hands, I'm actively listening to the person, but it may come across as that I don't give a damn or that I'm uninterested. Now, I have other friends that if their eyes are on a screen, they don't hear you. They don't know what's going on around them. They don't know anything. Um, so that's something I've got to work with. And thankfully, they gave us a bunch of like little fidget toys and stuff because this stupid little ball has become my best fucking friend. I sit here and I squeeze it, I bounce it on my desk, I roll it in my hands, and it's helping to keep me focused on what's going on while keeping me busy also because I am that audio visual learner. And we have these slides coming up and we're doing some work in the book and everything. But listening, for me, that's how I get information processed to. And one of my disabilities that I have is a learning disability, and it's hard to get it from here to paper. But I can get it from here to here to here, or here, 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 and like that just seems to work out for me. So I'm really thankful for having something as stupid as this little Dollar Tree ball or whatever it is. Um, I also have a fidget spinner and like a fidget cube and stuff like that that I'm actually going to try to bring with me to class tomorrow, even though it's like literally right down the hall over there by that stop sign. Um, but yeah, just a lot going on, a lot going on, and I'm actually feeling a lot better about the classes. I'm just more stressed out about the actual testing aspect of it. Um, I don't think that that's going to go away. At first, I thought that these classes were just going to be long, boring, bullshit lectures and just somebody up there, Charlie Browning, like, you know, God kill me now type situation. Um, but no, I've really been enjoying them actually. And each day I've learned something more, not only about myself, but about tools to help other people. And really, um, if I do decide to become a peer counselor, I'm going to need those tools to help other people, or just, being able to help one of you if you come to me and ask me questions or you just need someone to talk to. So I am learning new resources and new tactical tools and um, how to kind of reframe things so that it makes it easier for everyone involved. Um, and the other issue that I'm having right now is person first language. And that is instead of saying um, somebody with special needs, saying somebody that is handy capable, or saying that instead of, oh, they're crazy, saying that, oh, a they're having a moment or something like that. Those might not even be the proper uses, but in my mind, I know what I'm trying to say and how to. It's a lot of just trying to rephrase things and working with people's traumas also. Um, that's probably going to be a difficult one because the training that we're going through right now is that we want the peer to be in the driver's seat and they tell us how to better help themselves, and not to make suggestions, not to talk about medications, not to really overshare your story. You guys know I freaking overshare. Um, I get like diarrhea of the mouth sometimes, and that's going to be difficult for me because I'm a communicator. I want that information out there. I want people to know what I'm thinking, right, wrong, or indifferent. And when to when to tell your story, and when you do tell your story, how you tell your story, and what pieces you tell your story, or what pieces of your story you tell, and not to go into too much depth, not to go into depth about stuff. And that's another issue that I work on because, again, I overshare and I tell people the dark grittiness of it all, where when you're telling your story, you want to focus on the positive, not on the mess. And that hit me really hard when that came up. I was just like, oh, yeah. And also not to like oversimplify, but not to over glorify things either. You don't want to make yourself the superhero in the story all the time. You don't want to make it about you. So that if you share your story, you are doing so in a condensed way. So like in a condensed, abridged way, without like going into the actual like recipe blog of your story. And if you've never seen a recipe blog, I urge you to look up any kind of recipe that happens to be on a blog. It is kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where people are like, well, I spent the summers in Costa Rica, so Chinese frisbee isn't the answer. I'm gonna have to go with B because I was a 14-year-old boy at an apple orchard one summer, and it's like, oh god, just shut up and get to the goddamn recipe, please. Um, so yeah, sorry about it being quick and dirty. Sorry about like over talking right now. I'm like really still excited and like zoomed up for having literally shut off the class and turning on the webcam to do this. But it's a down and dirty video. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys know what to do. Questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section below. Hit up the blog, Hello Cupcake It's Me .com. Shoot me an email, hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.